Welcome to my next video about AZ-400. It's a DevOps Engineer Expert certification from the Azure Microsoft. It's my fourth Azure certificate that I passed. This time, for the first time, I passed online exam before I went to the test center. So it's interesting also experience to see the differences. The pass rate is 70%. It's standard for, I think all Azure certificates. And during my certification path, I had interesting idea, I would say, that having clear goal helps to learn. So if you want to become architect, DevOps, you want to learn English, then it's good to have a course or some path that at the end you have some validation, a gate that determines if you know something good or not. So I am learning DevOps here, for example. I learned. At the end, you have exam. If you pass, then it means that at least you know something. Maybe you are not hyper expert of the world, but you have some knowledge. It's not like maybe you know, maybe not know, but you have some particular knowledge. I think it's similar when you are passing some English test or German test with some accredited, well-known institutions like Cambridge, or Goethe for German. And if you pass B2 exam from them, then it means that possibly you can work with this language, and you have some skills that are quite valuable. So it's good not to learn just for learning, because later it's hard to measure, make some metrics how good you are, but it's good to have some gate at the end, validation. Okay, so agenda for today, for this episode, is about what's about the exam, my experience, and what's the next. So here we have exclusive advanced certificates. That's title for this slide. So if you go to the learn.microsoft.com and you go to browse credentials and you filter via Azure Advanced and Certification, then you will see only 2 certificates. So there are only 2 advanced Azure certificates available for now. So if you pass one of them, then it's quite nice. You are in a bit exclusive group. So compared to the basic or associate, there you have a lot of certificates, but advanced are only 2. That's an interesting approach from Microsoft. But yes. Exam clock, so it's time management. So what's important to say is that time is very limited. It's very similar like AZ-400 that I passed a few months ago. So I had 65 questions and 100 minutes netto. So after introduction, surveys and other stuff, explanations. And this means you have 1.5 minutes per question. It's very limited. So when you have test case, which is usually at the beginning, you lose a lot of time because there is a lot of descriptions to read and multiple tabs. When you have some big question with some multiple answers to select from some groups, it takes a lot of time. So whenever you have question that is very strict about the git clone, git merge, git squash, what is it, how to work with this, and it's short question, then you need to catch up really, because otherwise you will miss time and you will be very short on time and possibly you can fail. So it's very important to measure time. And for the first time, I made a bit some time strategy that you have to remember because you are not able to bring any notes, any schedule for your exam because it's forbidden. So kind of raw estimation. When you have 100 minutes left, you need to be at the beginning. You are doing first question out of 65 questions. Then if you have 50 minutes left, then you should be somewhere in the middle. 32 out of 65 questions done. And when you are 20 minutes left, then you should be at the end. You should have a bit more than 10 questions left. This is of course very generic, but I think it's important to have kind of time management because time goes very fast. You feel, oh, 100 minutes or 90 minutes is a lot, but this is not true. The time goes very fast and is not, if the questions are not easy, are long to read often, and it's often tricky. So you need to focus, look at details, read few times, and really the time is hard. Okay, so the next slide is scope. So like many certificates you have in the Azure, you see the description, what is inside. So processes and communication. Here you have the integration with the Teams or Slack. Source control strategy. So basically the Git clone, Git squash, Git rebase on. Later you have the pipelines. And this is the critical part because here you have between 50 and 55%. We just must have to know, to pass, because at the end you need to have 70% plus to pass the whole exam. So this is the hard part and you need to focus if you want to pass the exam. Later you have security and compliance, so Azure Key Vault, for example. Later you have instrumentation strategy, and this is, for example, some logging insights or some so on. So the scope is very big. I think it's bigger than AZ-400, but it's always a bit personal feeling. And you have really not enough time to learn each detail from each place and from each guidance. So you need to be effective during your learning path. So I think making some practical tests that kind of make similar approach like a real exam is quite crucial. And I feel that passing is possible without real practice. So you don't need to really build each service and make each pipeline with all configurations. You can read it, learn by heart, and then possibly you can pass. Next slide is the common questions. So for sure you are wondering what are the questions. So already maybe I touched this topic, but there are questions about the velocity, the burn down, sprint velocity, lead time. So you need to know the comparisons. Later there are questions about the connections between the GitHub, Azure DevOps, virtual machines on. So when to use service principals, how to log into the GitHub, and so on. Later you have Key Vault usage. This is kind of very flagship question. Later, of course, pipelines, because the majority of the exam. So how the stages look, jobs, what are in the tasks, and so on. And there are some tools also around. So for example, Black Duck or Mendbolt. You should know what's about this. Is it hard? It depends, like everything in our lives. So I would say if you are working with the software development, if you are a software developer, if you are DevOps in your professional life, then it's game changer, I would say, because many things that you do daily, so operating with the Git, looking at the pipelines, if something is broken, the test doesn't pass, and so on. You work with you authenticate, whenever, to using the SSH or some normal credentials, so you have kind of this feeling. You also work with the Agile or Scrum, so you see some velocity, burn down charts, and you have this also feeling how it works. Then I think overall some professional experience gives big overlap on this exam. So I think it's very, very, very good point, which you already have. The hard thing is also the GitHub and the Azure pipelines differences. So basically the idea is similar. You build the pipeline, you have CI, CD, you deliver and deploy at the end, making some gates in between. But the structure, the names, the keywords are much different. So for example, there is depends on and also needs. So the keywords are totally different between those pipelines. So you need to know overall what are the differences. There is a bit code, but not that a lot. I think like AZ-204 is a bit different code. Here we have more declarative. So you have the YAML, how to build the components. I didn't have I didn't have any question about AKS, so yeah, I learned about creating pods in the YAML code and other services. But yeah, I don't recall such questions. And yeah, if you passed AZ-400, which is prerequisite, one of two, and you really learned hard, yeah, really learning around and with the documentation and so on, then there is overlap. So the Key Vault, Manage Identity, Service Principles, if you learn it well, then yeah, you are a bit winner now, yeah, because you remember this and there is overlap. And of course, the hardest time pressure, I'll repeat this again, but yeah, this is critical. My preparation. So I started in the April 2026, this year. I decided to pick up this test because, I was feeling, yeah, now I can do it because I have prerequisite. I passed AZ-200 form, which was end of the March. And yeah, I think it's also very relevant to my current position. I am a bit DevOpsing, a bit development, so this is interesting. And I had space in my personal and also professional life to do it because it takes also a lot of time to prepare. But of course the beginning is very slow and I was feeling a bit chilling after my first exam. So yeah, it's slow at the beginning and to get the focus again, and also it's hard to be in the constant one activity. Certifications. It's important also to a bit make some side works or some hobbies. So in the mid-April, I bought some practical tests. I think this is the most effective way. However, I do in very details the practical tests. I don't know if it's good or bad. There are cons and pros. But the first practical test took me like 2 weeks maybe, or let's say. So I was reading details with some references, checking, Googling, and to be really clever about this. And then later, next practical tests were much easier because it repeats. The questions kind of repeats. Yes. And then we had May and June, so I completed few practical tests, so I was happy, but I was still postponing the exam, rescheduling. I was not sure if I can really pass or, because it's DevOps expert, so will I do it or not, and so on. Also, we have quite hot summer here, so it also doesn't help. It's nice to go outside when it's so hot. so it was not motivating for the studying. And then July came and I took exam. So my first attempt was fail. It was 675 points out of 1000. And kind of frustrating, but I was feeling that maybe I'm missing a bit. But also what it appeared that I was very bad in my time management. Already in my previous exam, I was bad in my time management. So this time, I repeated my bad sides, my bad skills, and I was too slow. I was super slow. I had 10 minutes remaining, and still 20 questions. So it was impossible. There was no go, not enough luck to pass such a scenario. So I failed. But then I was thinking how to do it again, when to approach the exam, and now I was feeling that I have the knowledge, so I should do it as fast as possible, because not to learn everything from scratch next month or something, just do it as fast as possible. And test center was not available for my convenient time, so I took the online test, which was for the first time in my life, so it was quite interesting. I think it's totally different, I would say. If you have comfortable room with little things inside and it's not that hot in the summer, then you are able to do it. But otherwise it's also comfortable to go to the test center. And how certificate looks, so the view. So here in the Microsoft Learn, you can see in your profile the credentials. Here we have those 2 certificates that I passed this year. Below there is this expert, and expert DevOps engineer I can renew next year. It's valid 1 year, similar to this Azure Developer Associate, but Developer Associate is not possible to renew because it's replaced by the new brand certificate with those AI stuff. So possibly it would be interesting to make the video about this renewal of the engineer expert next year. And the detailed view of the certificate. So yeah, when you go and click some links, then you will see the Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer Expert, which looks quite cool. Branding with the badge. Here is some extra idea. I don't know, maybe a bit off topic, but yeah. I noticed that in some places where I worked, people were branding in the footer of the mail some those labels, badges, to highlight that the people, person accomplished hard exam, So at some point, I think it's interesting, maybe not must have or you need to do it. So in the corporate life, but I think it's even more relevant if you are the freelancer or you are the contractor, and you want to make your personal brand and you want to highlight and you face directly the customer or the partner, So then there you want to brand yourself more, because in the corporate life you have some structure and everybody knows you and it's a bit different story. So kind of off topic, some kind of curiosity. So maybe it's interesting. So just leave it like this. And what next? So I think for now I'll take some longer break from the next certification. So I'll do some self-exploring of the AI, which is quite fascinating. There is more and more job offers for the AI, so it's good to be kind of in the loop to know how it's going and how it is going and to be up to date. Also, I like to make some small proof of concept projects with the GitHub Copilot. I am fan of this. Unfortunately, it's paid tool if you want to have a bigger quota. Another idea is to have AI 100 free or AI 300. Here is about building agents or building models. So it's ML ops. So I think it's fascinating. It's a very interesting path, but it's very long and it's not easy. It's taking a lot of time but AI 100 free is definitely very interesting thing to consider, and maybe in the future, let's see, maybe the certificates will be revoked again, who knows. So, but it's interesting, but I think not soon. And the last thing, there is this AZ-400, which is flagship certificate for the architecture in the Azure, but again, it is long path, but secondly also, in my current role, I am more like developer, like DevOps, so I am not fully architect. I had possibility to work as a consultant architect, but at the end I didn't decide to go this direction. I was not sure if this role is for me. So I think it's quite prestigious, this 305, because you learn about trade-offs, that not everything is that perfect. You have connection between the business and technical stuff. But at this point, maybe not very soon. So many things to do, but only limited time. That's all. So thank you a lot for watching and see you in the next video.